filmmakers like. Welcome. This episode of I'm your host Srekcuf, joining the ever frozen of Dev as he say hi.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good.
Well, it's out. People can.
Oh, no one can hear you. Cool.
Now people can hear me. I need to just check that more often. Well, like I said, welcome to Critically Casual. I'm your host, Srekcuf5. Dev is here, joining me on his way back home. He said hello already.
Yes.
But so, due to the situation that we're in right now, we're going to try and keep today's episode a little bit shorter. Just to make sure that we can get through all of it. Right?
Yeah, it'll make it a little bit easier, so.
Yeah. So, let's see. Anything you want to say or do before we start discussing today's stuff?
I know my voice probably sounds like crap, but that's just because I was at the concert and at a karaoke bar, so, you know, I blew out my voice, so.
Screaming bloody murder and Bohemian Rhapsody.
A little bit, yeah.
Alright.
Well, speaking of Bohemian Rhapsody, we're talking about a movie with Michael Myers. Hey. There's our transition.
So, this week I decided to call it Making Dreams Work.
That is actually pretty good.
Well, thank you.
I know some of yours can be a little bit of a dud, no offense, but they still work.
Mm-hmm.
That was good.
Why, thank you. So yeah, this week is Making Dreams Work, and we're talking about Shrek and Abominable. So yeah, let's just get right on in here and start talking about Shrek, shall we? Let's
talk about it.
Okay. So, grew up with Shrek. I love Shrek. Very nice, very funny.
Yeah.
A lot of deep thought. If you don't, well, no, I wouldn't say deep, but there's definitely more that I saw this time around than I did when I watched it as a child.
Yeah, there's some good adult humor in Shrek, surprisingly.
There's a lot of dick jokes. Like
yes,
lot.
there are. There are a lot of dick jokes. And I will also say, I went into this expecting the film to just not really hold up. It was 2001 when this came out.
Yeah, like graphically, you're talking about?
Not just graphically, just everything wise, because it's also been turned into a meme. So my brain was like, this movie's just gonna be a meme. It's not.
It's a good film.
It actually holds up, like, surprisingly well.
Mm-hmm.
The cast does a really great job. And it sucks that after 2 that the other ones just kind of sucked, and it kind of put a bad taste on DreamWorks, but like, this is the film that put DreamWorks on the map, so.
Absolutely. This movie, for anybody who doesn't know, this was the first ever, let me look up the actual title that they won, which was, let's see. Shrek was the first ever Academy Award winning Best Animated Feature Film. So,
Toy Story should have for that, but
but they didn't have that kind of award back when Toy Story was a thing.
I know. They should have made it back then. But it's also really cool to see that the animation actually does hold up in a lot of ways. There's certain things that we've gotten better with, like
just general movement.
Well, movement as well, but like to see like Donkey would have like better fur now. Mm-hmm. But also if you look at the dragon in it, like those scales have so much detail to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like surprising amounts of detail to it. That it just adds such a like almost a texture that you don't always see in film. Like seeing how DreamWorks has come along and just seeing where they started, you understand that like where movies like Kung Fu Pandas and the How to Train Your Dragon films, and now Abominable all came from, because you see the animation style just increasingly get better over the ages. And it's just really cool to see that, like, to appreciate a studio's ability to continue to improve the product they make. It's really cool to see.
Mm-hmm. Like when I was watching this movie, I made a clean, like, I intently told myself that I was gonna watch as much as the animation as possible, just to see how we have changed from 2001 to 2019. And I was actually kind of amazed, because in me watching this in more detail, I saw like so much stuff in the background, and like just how characters moved and stuff that I had never noticed before. And
Yeah.
and I was, and don't get me wrong, there's every once in a while there's like weird uncanny valley stuff with like the facial movements, or just how people would walk looked a little robotic at times. But otherwise I was like kind of surprised, because I was like, yeah, I've seen Shrek 100 times. There's nothing new here. And then I actually opened my eyes, and I was like, oh damn, that's some funny shit I was missing.
Well, also, it's just like there's a surprising amount of detail to just the backgrounds in this film. Like, I will say, because before, like, Pixar before this didn't really do like big wide shots. A lot of the movies were, you had kind of like a backdrop or kind of central locations.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have a whole lot of other characters in scenes other than like what was going to be there in the first place.
Yeah.
I want to say Bug's Life might have been the biggest at that point, because I don't think Monsters Inc. was out yet, if I remember correctly. I can't type that up real quick and get to it faster than you probably can, but I don't think Monsters Inc. was out yet.
Mm-hmm.
But like DreamWorks had a lot of scenes where there were just a lot of people, and all of them moved and reacted in some way, which was really cool to see. Like, it wasn't just stagnant reactions. It was like when, like, there's a scene when Shrek runs into the church, and like the crowd slowly, like the wave reaction happens, and it feels human-esque, as human as 2001 animation can. So it's kind of cool to see that.
Mm-hmm. When I look at this film, like, there was, like I was talking about, like how there was more to the story than I was looking at, and one thing that I want to talk about in specific, which I guess it's not really a spoiler or anything, but I want to talk about like the onion scene, where Shrek specifically says ogres are like onions; they have layers, and that's pretty much the point that I wanted to talk about, because that film, that's like the whole premise of this film, is that there's more than just the surface level of things. And there's more to just a book by its cover. There's more to the story than just what's told from one side. There's there's more to a person than what you see on the outside. And oddly enough, there's a whole study in communication, like in communication studies, called the onion theory, about how people are layered like ogres, to get to know somebody and to get to understand what's going on. And I really enjoyed that message in this movie, because it's kind of a different message than any other kids movie that we've seen in the past, or at least recently as well, which is basically like the message of family, or message of like love, essentially. But this is about like understanding more than anything else.
And it does a good job of that, in my opinion. It does a really great job of kind of like, it's such a weird analogy, but it's sticked. Like, people are like onions; they have layers. And it's such a weird concept to be like, yeah, no, this is going to like last now, because chosen it to.
Yeah.
And it does a good job of bringing that message out. Needs to, so
Especially
it's important.
Yeah. There was also one more thing, kind of backtracking a little bit back to like animation and subtleties. Because these people are layered. I remember when I watched this movie when I was a kid, I never noticed like Shrek and his tone and his inflections and like just how his face changes in the last argument that he has with the other two.
Yeah.
Like that's something I'd never noticed before. So I was like, huh, I'm dumb.
Well, no, they did a great job of animating facial features. Sorry, there's a car outside. It's like a classic. Can't tell what it is.
It's all good.
You know, chasing. I'm in a car right now. My dad's driving. We're going back to. My.
You were cutting out there.
Okay, sorry. We're just driving. We're on the road. I'm not at the airport anymore. But continuing on. No, I really love this film. This made me have a appreciation for this.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I do too. All right, Dev. So I'm gonna give you, since we're trying to keep this a little shorter than normal, I'm gonna give you your 10 popcorn kernels. How many are you giving Shrek?
I'm giving it a 7.5 because, yeah, no, I'm gonna bump it up. Fuck it. I'll give it an 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ferg it. An 8.
You can do whatever you want. This is your swamp.
Pretty much. No, it surprisingly holds up. Like, in a way I didn't expect it to hold up.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm pleasantly surprised by it. So,
nice.
What about yourself?
Me, I would probably, because I was a little torn on this, but after talking about it a little bit more, I definitely think this is more of, like, I'll say overall a grand total of 7.5, because it's pretty nice. It's pretty good. Don't get me wrong. Limited animations a little bit, but what they had and what they did with it and the story that they told, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I call it good.
All right, that's good.
All right. So for our next movie, we're hopping into what DreamWorks has done with their newest films, and it's called Abominable.
Yes.
So go ahead.
So I haven't been able to do it in a couple weeks, but give me a second. Let me pull up my E. Shiloh Bennett, I think, is her name, but make sure.
Chasing.
Yeah, Shiloh Bennett.
The second one. He shouted his voice out at karaoke and concerts.
Apparently the Bluetooth connection is successful.
You're doing something.
I'm not. The car is starting things on someone else's phone. They already know who you are. I told them you're in the vehicle, so.
For those of you who weren't here, Dev's father is in the vehicle with him.
Yes. He's so pleasantly happy that I'm doing the podcast here.
He likes hearing your deep thoughts.
As he flips me the bird. Anyway, so Shiloh Bennett's in this, and she plays Quake, so that's our Marvel connection for this week.
Oh yeah, we haven't had that in a while.
We haven't. It's been a little bit. So, Abominable.
Yes.
This film is a very simple plot and story hidden behind absolutely breathtaking animation.
I would agree with you, like because right before I went into this movie, and like even up until like the house lights went down and all the ads were done playing, I was like, what am I about to watch? Because I had no idea based off like, because I watched the trailer for this one. I wasn't gonna I had no opinions of going in completely blind on this one, but even still watching the trailer, I didn't really see anything of what this movie could be, other than like just it was a girl who played music and a monster was nearby. But what it turned out to be, I really enjoyed.
I agree. I enjoyed it. Like I don't mind a simple premise. It was very well voice acted. It was very well animated, and they put a lot of heart into it, and it shows. It's I gotta say, one of my favorite parts though is early in the movie. The first time you really see Everest, is you see literally every goddamn hair follicle move, and it's just insane.
Just think of the rendering.
Right? God, that like having the first real major DreamWorks film to this film and seeing that. Could you imagine if they actually, like back then, how long Shrek would have taken to make if they actually did that with like donkey's fur?
Dude, the ones.
Oh my God.
Like there's a poster that they had of when they were surfing through the flower fields.
Yeah.
Like that scene that when in the movie, I was like stunned because how beautiful.
There's so many petals.
Yeah.
There's so many goddamn flower petals in that scene, and it's just they're all moving, like in different directions, and they all have their own physics and stuff like that. And it's just like, Jesus, that computer. How is it still alive?
It took it 30 hours to export one scene. And then
I wouldn't doubt it.
Because with this movie, like you said, simple premise. I would say, what would you say overall is like the moral of this movie? Like, what was it trying to tell us?
It's a movie about family. About that by blood or by bond, that family's there, and they'll always be there through the hard times and the good times, and you shouldn't just push them away and stuff like that. So, and always that trying to make sure that you get home and stuff like that. It was good, in my opinion. It's a simple premise, but well executed.
Yeah. And if you wanted to, you could even like look into other things about it as well. Like it's a road trip movie in some ways.
Yes.
It's what's it called? A coming of age story.
Yep.
It's what's another thing I was gonna say? It's a movie about getting past your former traumas. Like,
yes,
there's a lot. Even though like you said, it was a simple story.
Steven.
Yes.
Would you say there's a lot of layers to it?
Almost like an ogre.
Almost like an onion.
Oh, I guess. What about parfaits? Just kidding. I'm not gonna go there.
We're not gonna go into that joke all the way. Come on.
That's why I skipped to the parfait and not the cake.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Suppose you didn't go to the cake.
I thought about it.
Parfait.
I mean, parfaits are delicious. Everyone loves parfaits.
What the fuck are we talking about? Christ. Anyways, no, it's kind of like a simple core premise, but it has a lot of good subplots that really work together on it. And they all kind of reach the same endpoint. And then again, it's just I don't want to say hidden, but it's also heavily supported by a very good cast and a just absolutely stunning animation.
Very much on the animation. I have two questions about the cast.
Yes. Who
was your favorite voice actor? Just if you had to name one.
Well, obviously Shiloh Bennett, because she also plays Quake. So, I don't have IMDb up with me though. But it would have to be the captain as well, because he was hilarious.
The captain, like the security guard captain.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember. I can't see who that one is on IMDb. He's actually called the Goon Leader, and it was Rich Dietel.
He was hilarious.
He apparently has done work on like Hotel Transylvania, Trolls, Shrek as well.
I don't doubt it. He's sounds like a veteran voice actor.
Yeah.
The crazy scientist woman too. She was funny.
Yes, Dr. Zara by Sarah Paulson.
Yes. Yes, I liked how like you could tell when she was switching accents, like really like it really added that layer to the character really well. Even though it was such a like out of nowhere heel, it worked.
I liked it.
So I did too. It was good.
Yeah, she was one of my favorites. I probably do have to say like my favorite character had to be Pang.
Yeah, Pang was good.
Yeah, the cute little boy being all adorable and shit. And then I'd probably say the other question I have for you though is was there any voice actor that you thought was an odd choice, but then you're like, huh, that works?
No, not really. I think they all worked pretty well for me, at least.
The one that caught me off guard was Eddie Izzard.
Yeah?
Like, I was just not expecting to hear Eddie Izzard in this animation. So, it kind of threw me off a little bit at first. But I got used to it. Because
That's fair.
Because, like, I grew up listening to Eddie Izzard, so I know what he sounds like, and I just couldn't get the image of him. Or technically the image of Burnish in like a drag outfit out of my mind.
Fair enough.
So
you got to be able to separate the artist from the character.
That's true. That's
true.
I did though. It was really good.
Fair enough.
Was there?
No, I really liked it.
I liked it too.
No.
It was good. Do I have one other question? Running through my mind of general things I would like to talk about. Did you? No. I was about to say, did you really think there were any twists in this at all? But I would say nothing was really a twist or like out of nowhere.
No, I don't really think anything was out of nowhere. So, but yeah, no, I if I had to give you 10 popcorn, what would you rate this film?
I would probably rate this film with my 10 popcorns. It's interesting because it's beautifully made, and it has a lot of interesting thought pieces. But overall, the story is pretty simple, so it's more of just like an entertainment piece than it is a like something to be learned from movie. Where I think Shrek is something to be learned from. So I would probably give this one a... It's pretty close, though. Like, I'll round up to a 7.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give it an 8, so... There we go. I don't really know if there's much for us to spoil on this one, because the talking points we've already kind of talked about don't, like, really get expanded by explaining much, in my opinion.
I do want to ask one thing. What did you think about the whole like violin and when it breaks with the Yeti hair replacement?
That was cool. I liked how that looked and everything, so it worked well. So,
like, I definitely enjoyed what happened because one thing that I thought was interesting is just somehow it is just how they managed to tie together the whole her whole dream China trip into the movie, and how that kind of empowered her to be able to do these more powerful things later on.
I think that was cool, though.
Yeah.
Like, it was definitely a really creative route to get to that point, though. I enjoyed it.
Definitely enjoyed it. Definitely enjoyed this film. I love going to the movies is become one of my favorite things again because sometimes you get to see these really cool things. Like Mortal Engines, I liked going because the rumble of the engines and stuff and the huge surround sound. And like this movie I loved going to because you get to see all the amazing visual because this was very like cinematically made, I would say.
Yes.
So,
All right. I've got not much else. I didn't need to use the restroom. We just got to our location, so.
okay. Let me say two things then really fast.
Yes.
There was a little bit of news that popped up this week. So,
Yes.
we'll go through that real fast, which is Spider-Man.
Yes.
So, for those of you who haven't heard, Spider-Man is back in the MCU. I don't entirely know what happened because I didn't really look into it.
They worked it out. I'm pretty sure some theories say it was maybe instead of 50, it's going to be like 25.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But they worked it out, and then now there's a possibility that, like, there's actually going to be Spider-Man and Venom movies in general as well as the MCU movies. So,
yeah, which is going to be so weird. Oh, God.
Okay.
It's going to be weird.
And then one last thing, since we're pretty much wrapping up here already, keeping it nice and short. Next month and next week.
Yes.
Okay.
Next month. Let me pull that up as well, so I have it.
So next month, I have dubbed it Breath of Life. And what I mean by that is they're taking all these old TV shows, movies, comic books, and things, and breathing new life into it. So, and it kind of works, because, you know, Rise of the Dead, zombie stuff, Halloween.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And so next week, what we're going to be watching,
Batman v Superman and the Joker.
Yes. And I want to...
Should I just go over the rest of them?
Yeah, go for it.
October 14th show will be Deadwood the movie and El Camino.
Which is the Breaking Bad movie, so you guys know.
Yeah. I wonder what gave that away. October 21st show will be Maleficent 1 and 2, to be Mistress of You. And then October 28th is Zombieland and Zombieland 2 Double Tap, which has finally come out after years.
10 years later.
Double Tap has been rumored for like so long.
That's true. I mean, Double Tap is like Rule 2, right?
Yes, but like it was also like obviously what they would name the second movie for so long. Everyone's like, finally it's happening.
All right. So, I mean, I don't have any other news. Unless you do. But
I don't think I have anything else. So.
Okay. So yeah, like I said, really short, really sweet, and really to the point episode today. Because traveling, and Dev apparently really needs to pee. So.
Okay, thanks for that. I just have to use the restroom. Jesus. All right.
Yeah. So yeah.
You guys rock.
Yeah. Sorry for keeping it short, but bonus week. Sometimes the bonus isn't really worth it.
Hey, it was fine. It's just what we got to do in this scenario.
Mm-hmm. So, thank you for joining us, everybody, this week. Come join us the rest of this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You can leave if you need to, Dev. I'll finish everything up here, no problem. But yeah. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we have... there we go. You figured it out. We have our shows at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We have our YouTube. We've got our Discord. Follow us on Twitter. Like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And, yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. And we will see you all next Sunday, or next Monday, still getting used to that, with, Batman v Superman and the Joker.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
We'll see you then.
Peace.
Bye.